G'day everyone, Aussie Mark here, doing a review today of the Spyderco Ambitious. Now the Ambitious is the smallest of Spyderco's import line of knives. These are made in China. Just going from the bottom of the screen up, we've got the largest of the line, which is the Resilience. We then have the Tenacious, which most people are probably most familiar with, I guess. Everyone's probably got one of those. Next down the list is the Persistence, and the knife we'll be talking about today is this one here, which is the Ambitious. For those who are wondering, the clip on that one is chrome, the others are black. That's simply because I've painted these other three. They actually all do come chrome, for anyone who was wondering. So that was just brought in those other knives just to give you guys a size comparison of where it sits in the family. Well, it's the baby of the family, so I'll just pull those ones off to one side and then we'll concentrate on the Ambitious. Alright, so I'll just place him there. I'll zoom in so have a bit of a look at him. Might be a shot. Okay, we'll talk some specs and statistics and that, and then we can get down to my views on the knife. The knife weighs in at 3 ounces, which is 87 grams in the metric system. It runs a liner lock system, as do all the others. All these things like steels and everything are the same right across the family of knives. Steel, speaking of steel, the blade is 8CR13 MOV, which is a very respectable stainless steel. They're a full flat ground blade, drop point shape as you can see there, quite a wide sort of a blade. The length on this thing when it's open is 5 7/8 of an inch, or 149 millimeters. If we close the knife up, the length you've got there then is 3 1/16 of an inch, or 90 millimeters. So it's quite small folded up. I tend to carry this knife not so much on the clip but down in the bottom of my pocket. This has been carried now for probably at least 2 months. Every day I've been at work and it rides down the bottom of my trousers pocket, and it sits quite well down there. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about philosophy of how I found it in a moment. But anyway, just back to stats things. Handles, G10, comfortable. For a knife of its size, actually very comfortable to handle. It's very well designed. Of course you can't get all 4 fingers on it, but for what it is, it's an extremely comfortable little knife to use. It's got jimping on the back of the blade, as you can see there, and it really does fit and sit in my hand quite well, and I've got a reasonably largish sort of hand. So particularly if you're more of a person who's got a smaller hand, you'll find that this knife will be very comfortable to use. You won't have any problems with that. Deployment is good. It's probably not as fast as some of the others in range, and I think that's predominantly due to the fact that the blade's a little shorter, so there's not quite so much kinetic energy to flick that knife out. Having said that, if you're just opening the blade normally, it flicks out nice and smooth. It locks up very tight. There's no detectable movement there, and I've been very happy with that part of it. As mentioned, it's got a clip. The great thing about these little budget knives is that the clips are adjustable at all 4 corners of the knife, left, right, tip up, tip down, whichever you want to do. Now, one of the things you've got to be careful of if you're moving the clip on these, and other people have talked about it, I've had trouble myself, is these little screws that hold it can be a little bit fragile. We'll just bring them up very close to the camera. There's been a bit of debate of whether they're Allen key or Torx. They are in fact an Allen or hex key, and the size you need, and believe me, this is the only size that I've found that works, is 1/16 of an inch. There doesn't appear to be any metric size or anything that works, so you really need to track down a 1/16 Allen key. If you mess with those with almost anything else, you're probably going to strip the heads out. They're not a particularly hard steel, so just be warned with that. The reason I like this knife so much, and so I've carried it for a couple of months, and I'm just rotating out of my work EDC now to run a couple of other knives, and I'm going to miss it. It's an extremely capable little knife. Yes, it's small, but it absolutely punches above its weight. I think the fact that it's got that wider blade, full flat ground, it's a very strong knife. It will cut quite heavy duty sort of jobs. Not ridiculously heavy duty, but heavier tasks than you might normally expect from a knife of this size. I've been really very, very impressed with it. Having said that, it's got all those capabilities, and yet if you pull it out in an office environment or you're using it around people who obviously think knives are scary, horrible weapons, this thing does not come across as an intimidating knife. I've never had anyone give me a bad reaction. It's actually one of the reasons I left that clip chrome. It kind of gives it that civilian, that almost jewellery type appearance, and it's been a terrific knife to me. I'm really impressed. For anyone who's got that sort of purpose of use for their knife, that they want something maybe for work use, but they're in an environment where a bigger knife might be seen as a threatening thing, this is a really good option. They're not an expensive knife to buy. The value really is outstanding in my opinion on this knife. What else can we say about it? It's a great little blade. Very, very capable. Most of you guys are familiar with the inner and outer, so I won't go too much into that. They're a full liner, skeletonized, drilled out liner, open post construction, so it's an easy knife to keep clean. Great little knife to use. To give you a quick size comparison with one of its stablemates from Spyderco, this is a, everyone will know what this one is. It's a Spyderco Delica, the full flat ground. Again, that's just for a size comparison. So you can see there, the Delica's a little bit longer, both in closed and open length. The Delica, I think you'll also find, if we just close them up again, is a little bit probably thinner. Not a lot in it, but a little bit. Now, competitive options from another company. I've only got one other knife in my collection at the moment that I really think is an option, or competitive option size-wise for this, and that is my recently purchased K-bar mini dozer folding hunting. Now, this is actually what I'm going to run to my work EDC in place of the Ambitious at the moment. As you can see there, lengthwise pretty much identical. The K-bar is considerably thinner, so it'll sit in my pocket very, very well, and I'll hardly know it's there, I'm sure. The open length on them, again, I think is pretty close to being identical, but obviously quite a significant difference in the blade shape. Blade thickness, I don't expect the K-bar will be quite as heavy duty a workhorse as a little Ambitious. As I say, I'm going to miss carrying that Ambitious, but if you're going to test knives, you have to rotate different ones in and out of your EDC, I guess. I've no doubt that at some point in time this will come back into my work carry. It's really served me well. Well, thanks for watching, guys. In closing, if you're after a small folder, just something that's non-threatening, something that will do any task you put to it within reason, I can highly recommend this knife. Great little thing. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.